king answered and said, Daniel, whose name was Belshazzar? Art thou able to make known unto me the dream which I have seen and the interpretation thereof? Okay, this is verse 31. Thou, O king, sawest and behold a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. The image's head was of fine gold.
Which is who? The Babylonians, man. And that's why right here you have what? Ancient Babylon. You know, right in front of the head, man. You know, you have what? Ancient Babylonian writing. You know?
And also you got the Babylonian writing and all that. And Babylon was known for like they did a lot of wicked sacrifices, man. And if you look up there, it looks like a bloodstain. This is coming down on a Babylonian cuniform.
Yeah, you know, because they sacrificed the Molech.
Exactly.
You know?
That's right, man. Right. So that this is nothing like we in those. The Americans reincarnated as all those places all over. It's reincarnated as all those places all over again, but now you got the visual, you see it right in front of your face. And they tried to hide this shit in the country, man, in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
You know?
Verse 32, continuing on. The image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver.
Which is who? The Persians. And when you go on that stone, you got what? The Sanskrit. You know, which is what? Ancient Persian, which goes back to Elam, but the East Indians, they ain't nothing but the modern day Persians. I mean, the brothers of the Iranians. You know, they ain't too tight now as countries, but they come from the same line of people.
That's right.
The Iranians and the Elamites. So that's one of the languages that's put up there, you know.
That's right.
That we showed, we showed earlier. You know, read on.
The image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass.
That's the Greeks. And they said one of the writings was what? Greeks. It was the Greeks, you know. Was another empire. So what this thing is showing you basically, even though these are guy stones and it looks different, this spiritually also the stone image of Daniel's the second chapter. When you spiritually look at it, and we also gonna get into it some more. This is also spiritually the Tower of Babel. You know.
It says, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron.
Right, which is who? The Roman Empire. Right. You know.
His feet, part iron and part clay.
Right, and that's what NATO. You know, the 10 horns is it's synonymous with the 10 toes. NATO and the EU. You know what I'm saying? The second leg of Rome. Because in the scripture said, give me Romans, Revelations, 13, I think around 3 or 4, it says his daily wound was healed. Start at 1.
This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 1. It says, and I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard.
Yeah, this blasphemy, you know.
That leopard goes back to Alexander, the Greeks rulership.
Right, and the image of the beast is the ideology of the system. But when you think on the carnal tip, this could be the side of the image of the beast.
Right.
Because they want to implement it. That's right. It's one of the images of the ideology that they pushing.
It says, and the beast which I saw was like a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear.
Right, and that showed you what? The leopard, the beginning of Esau was who? Alexander, which was who? The Greeks, which was one of the writings on the stone, on the head, on the top of the stone. You know what I'm saying? It said, because that's why they said civilization began with the Greeks. So it said the beginning, his head. Read that again.
It says, and his feet were as the feet of a bear.
Right, so bring it back.
It says, verse 2.
The leopard.
All right, come. This is verse 2. Revelation chapter 13, verse 2. It says, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard.
Yeah, that's the beginning of Esau.
That's right.
You know, he said when Alexander came into power,
Wickedness.
right, evil's multiplied in the earth. You know what I'm saying? So that's the leopard, the beginning of the Esau as an empire, a society. You know,
It says, and his feet were as the feet of a bear.
and the Russians represent the bear. Because Russia, your feet is the end of you. When you size somebody up, you size them up from head to toe. The toes is the end of you. The feet is the end of you. So the Greeks was the beginning of you devils, and the Russians is going to be the end of you devils.
Right.
With a nuclear war. You know.
It says, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority.
Right. And the dragon gave him his power, which is who? The Roman Empire. America gets all of this influence from the Roman Empire. You know, and Rome get their shit from the Greeks. And you know, and the Greeks stole a lot from the Egyptians, and the Egyptians stole a lot from the Babylonians.
Right.
That's why Babylon is the first head of the stone, because all that goes back to like Nimrod, sun worship and all that goes back to Nimrod. You know, that's why I said the beast, he gets his power from the dragon.
Right.
You know, that could also be viewed as what spiritual demon Satan too. You know, because spiritual demon Satan gives these devils these different powers, you know, from human sacrifice and so on. But you know, that's talking about, actually it's talking about the Roman Empire. That's where America get its whole setup from the Roman Empire, which got it from the Greeks, and the Greeks stole from the Egyptians, and the Egyptians got their shit from the Babylonians. That's why you got Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz. Then you also have Isis, you know, Horus and Seth, you know what I mean, under Egypt. You know, so it's just the same deities, but just called different names. But everything originally goes back to what? Babylon, you know?
It says, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death.
Yeah, and that was the what? The Roman Empire. That's why they call it the Middle Ages. You know what I'm saying? Because when you got something in the middle, you got something on each side of it. And during the Middle Ages, you had what? The pagan Roman Empire. Before the Middle Ages, you had the pagan Roman Empire. And after the Middle Ages, the Rome was set up all over again through the Renaissance period. You know? So, like in the back of the dollar, they had Novus Ordo Seclorum, written in Latin, which was the language of the ancient Roman Empire. You know what I'm saying? So, when they say the Middle Ages, let's talk about, because Jake had actually interrupted the reign of Rome.
The Holy Roman Empire.
Yeah, with the Holy Roman Empire. But it ended with what? The Renaissance period. And when these devils came back in the Renaissance period, they set up Rome all over again. So that's why they call our reign the Middle Ages. Or they call it what? The medieval time. And one of the root words in medieval time is mid, which means what? Middle. So we're in the middle of what? The actual reign of Rome. Jake had actually interrupted their reign. Jake had actually interrupted their rule. Well, they call it the Byzantine Empire, which means backwards, because the world wasn't in Greek and Roman ideas at the time.
Right.
So they said the world was living backwards. Or they call it what? The Dark Ages.
Pre-iconic.
You know what I'm saying? Because why they call it the Dark Ages, they said, oh, the world at that time wasn't under Greek and Roman ideas, and the world was living in darkness. So they call it what? The Dark Ages or the Byzantine Empire. But this is actually the backward society.
This the actual darkness.
This is actually the Dark Ages.
People living in gross darkness.
Come on, brother.
I'm addicted. That's a bad scripture.
These people right now, they living in darkness, and they also they try to take evil and make it good, and try to take good and make it evil, you know, and they flip things upside down, man. So whatever goes against the scriptures, that's what they wanna use that and make that the law, man. You know,
We got two precepts.
This is Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1, and it reads, Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee.
that's right. So arise, shine, our light is upon you. So that's the men of the Lord coming out here teaching right out the scriptures. That's the light right there. That's the ultimate light. Words of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. When you push the words in what his prophet's mouth to come out here and give the lessons and hit the highways and hedges. It teach the people. So the light is right here, which you can see, but people still don't want to take heed. Go ahead, bro.
For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth.
That's right. The darkness shall cover the earth. And what's that? That's this Edomite rulership, man. That's this gross darkness. Yeah, the Babylonian Empire, which we living in. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of confusion. And that's why you got the Babylonian crucifix up there, man. You know? So, and that's another point or an example that show you right in front of your face, man. You know, that we still living in those times, man. And these are the dark ages. I don't care what they saying, man. You know? Because the light is shining in the dark, man.
Yeah, they called it the rebirth.
Yeah, exactly.
But actually, what the rebirth of what? The actual Roman Empire.
That's right, that's
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
But it say, Edom says, my powers, they gonna go build up and all that. Yeah, no,
But I would do that.
that's right. So that's the most relevant for that.
Continuing on. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people.
Done.
But the Lord shall arise upon thee,
Mm.
and his glory shall be seen upon thee.
That's right. So his glory, what? It's these laws, statutes, and commandments. His word is going to be seen among who? His men. You know, the way we live our lives and conduct ourselves. We're not acting like the average Joe out here, man. And a lot of people, because of what we do, we're hated, man. You know, but they don't hate us. They hate Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. First and foremost, the same way they hated Yahweh Shah, man. You know, they hate us. Why? Because we're actually doing the work and we're going against the society, because a lot of people is comfortable in the society, man. And not knowing that, damn, this is what's coming for you. And we bringing it out for you, but you still hate it. You don't want to believe. The same way back in the time of Noah, when he prophesied for 150 years and telling them it was going to be a flood, and they didn't believe it. You know, until the rain came, man. You know, then all of a sudden the niggas want to come knocking on the door. It's too late after that, man, because the Most High had to seal the door so Noah couldn't let nobody in. Because Noah was in the flesh, and if it was up to him, he would have, if it was up to Noah, he would have let them people in there, man. You know? That was it on that?
Yes.
This is to add on to that. This Isaiah 25:7. That he would destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations.
Right.
So when you got a veil over your eyes, you can't see.
right.
So you in darkness. Like brother was saying. This is actually the dark ages, the backwards kingdom.
That's right.
You know, where two men could get married. You know.
Even like when the woman goes down the aisle and she's getting married, she got that veil over her face, and she got to take it off, lift it up.
That's right. And that covering cast also represents the misnomers, the bywords, and the false identities that these nations are going by today. The Chinese are not calling themselves Moabites. You know, the Israelites aren't calling themselves Joshua Allah. You know what I'm saying? Everything is out of order, and that represents that covering cast. So when Yahweh Shah Mashiach comes back, everything is going to be placed back into this rightful order. Everyone is going to be given their true nationality, and they're going to walk in it.
Right, and the destruction of it is what's starting now.
Right.
So
Those things spiraling down the drain.
Satan in the drain. Another piece of the back that was a heavy point, just because this is the actual real dark ages.